The Chicago Blackhawks are back in the Western Conference Final after dispatching of the Winnipeg Jets. Both of them, both the current Jets and, of course, the Arizona Coyotes. And now we look to make our way past the Calgary Flames, the 45-win Flames that have ultimately made it to the conference final regardless. So perhaps not the team that we would have expected to see here as they took out Vegas and Los Angeles along the way. It is Tampa and Columbus on the other side. The Final Four is set. We, in terms of the lineup that we are looking at here, don't have anything to do. Our team is set. We're going to stick with what's worked so far. I mean, again, you talk about the ridiculous top six. Gabe, Don't Call Me Glenn, Metropolitan, up to an absurd 96 overall. I mean, not that surprising for a franchise player. It's why we traded up to get him at the time. And obviously the physicality really boosts that overall. But excited to see, what he can continue to bring to this team. He's in a contract year, though. So, boy, you talk about Mike being able to control the team right now. It's gonna get interesting. It really is. Defensively, of course, we made the one change in the last episode. We brought Brandon Crawley into the lineup, and I'm intrigued to see what he can continue to do. Obviously, defensively and with the third pairing, we don't have the best choices in the world. But with Dylan and Clark being a phenomenal pairing on Pulock and Boqvist, not quite working out as I would have wanted, it kind of complicates things. I mean, the argument is, switch Pulock to a DFD, Boqvist to an OFD, and see if that works. Not a horrible idea. It could very well work and pan out for us. Although, from there the argument actually, it could work. We might try that really quickly. We might switch up the defense. It's a little bit risky. I mean, obviously we're coming off of a sweep of the Jets. Jesper Wallstedt, solid for the most part throughout that series. And of course, Lawrence Nielsen was the guy who was kind of taken out. But boy, you want to talk about someone who could be an OFD. I said our lineup wasn't going to change at all. I am now intrigued. Crawley brings a ridiculous physical presence to this lineup. Ronick, I'm going to ask you to take a seat for a minute. Let's just have a seat because we're going to switch things up defensively, and we're going to see if this sinks or swims. If this is a sink or swim situation for the new third pairing in particular. I'm sure the second pairing will be fine, or they'll continue to struggle as they have. But we're going to give this a shot because it's the most me thing in the world to make changes to a team that's winning in the playoffs. It's the most me thing ever. Why? I just clearly can't help it. Why not? Why not make changes? It'll work eventually, maybe. The reason why I'm willing to do this, though, is the fact that Ryan Pulock isn't exactly putting up points as he normally does. I mean, 3 points thus far. He has been a decent offensive contributor at times. That's clearly not the case right now. So we'll see what happens with this. And of course, Crawley's already a DFD, which is why I elected to sit Ronick rather than having to change two players. Even though, screw it, we're already here, I might as well. But let's get Lawrence Nielsen back into the lineup. We'll see what he can do for us, and we'll take it from there. So let's see first and foremost if that helps out with the chemistry boost at all. I mean, we are playing these players within their roles, right? It's not as if I'm forcing someone who's super offensive to be a defensive defenseman. But just a look here. Yeah, see, it didn't really help at all, but, let's just see how it pans out. The issue is, of course, Crawley's not a great fit for that particular line. Boqvist isn't really a great fit anywhere. So it's kind of the issue that we have. So, we're going to stick with it. We'll see how it works. The Calgary lineup as it stands, they look like this. What do they look like? Oh boy, we're hitting all the wrong buttons today. It's off to a tremendous start. Calgary, oh my God. So clearly they underperformed in the regular season. Eric Kobayashi, he's 19, first overall in 2025. Oh my God, he has 8 points in 12 games. He is a 92. Centered by Sean Monahan, still there at 32. 9 points this postseason. And Mikko Rantanen, 15 points in 12 games. So that top line is outrageous. Monahan's going to be pretty expensive for them, I would imagine. Second line, we have Jakob Pelletier, 8 points in 12 games. Of course, a real-life draft pick of the Flames. Next to Casey Hartman, 9th overall in 2023. He is an 88. And Danny Wyman, who was 12th overall in 2020. So Calgary has done a good job of drafting, is what we can say. Third line, we have the Florida connection of Owen Tippett, who's really struggled so far. Vinny Trocheck, who's been solid, and Martin Kaut, who's been okay. Fourth line, you have Austin Wagner, Adrian Kempe, the LA connection, and Evgeny Svechnikov. Yeah, I mean, it's a really good forward core, obviously. It's a really good forward core. This isn't going to be the easiest task for us. This doesn't look like a simple, oh yeah, just shut them down, we'll be fine. And defensively, it doesn't get any easier. Now, they don't have an elite defenseman, but still, Juuso Valimaki, 7 points with Travis Dermott, Max Lajoie with Mackenzie Weegar, and Miles Irons, which is a great name, alongside Rasmus Anderson. How's the goaltending looking? Buchnevich, Hayes, and Frederick as the scratches. Oh boy, this is going to be a bad time, isn't it? This is going to be a real bad time. That is a pretty darn good team. We got to be YouTube friendly and say darn. No, we don't. We are 2 points above them offensively and even defense, but of course they have the advantage in goaltending. I am stunned that they only won 45 games. I mean, that's not to say that that's a bad record. That's obviously a pretty solid record, but I'm stunned that they only won as many games as they did. They were the third team in the Pacific, and again, as we talked about it, numerous 100-point teams this season. We were the best of the best. And in the West, I mean, you had Calgary, they were 5th in that ranking. Of course, LA and Vegas, the two teams they beat, both won over 100 games. So I don't know what was up with the Flames in the regular season. Maybe there was some injury trouble. But regardless, they've come to play this postseason. And now I get to deal with that as they continue to look to slay all of the Dragons en route to the Stanley Cup. And if they knock out, us as well, that would be the 3 best teams in the Western Conference that they've eliminated in order to get to the Stanley Cup final. So not an easy situation by any stretch of the imagination. With that, let's get down to business. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. Flames and Hawks. 3rd round. First game. First period. How's it going to go? And it's going to go well for Calgary is how it's going to go. Power play goal for Kobayashi. 17 shots. That is not a winning formula for us. We're lucky to only be down by 1. Second period, we do tie it up. Kyle Palmieri, 52 shots between these two teams through 40 minutes. That is an insane pace. We go to the third. So one of their big guns showing up, and their top defenseman does as well. Juuso Valimaki with the goal. I was going to say it was a 4th liner for us who got it done. Power play goal, extended power play for Calgary goes to waste. We get an abbreviated power play. And Kyle Palmieri scores again. Huge effort from him. Calgary with another power play goes to waste. 3 minutes left. Are we destined for overtime? We are not. Brant Clark, with 20 seconds to go, wins it. A come-from-behind victory for the Blackhawks in this one. What a performance. 39 shots to 37, and we hold on for the 3-2 victory. What a game for Wallstead. What a game for Kyle Palmieri. And what a game for Brant Clark. The big regulation goal, the winning goal, preventing overtime. That is, that made that trade for him worth it pretty much immediately. Solid effort all around. We get the job done. I mean, I would advise the team to not give up 17,000 shots. It's probably for the best. We might have a little bit more success if we do so, as Columbus takes game 1 against Tampa. I mean, obviously, if Tampa makes it to the final, they're going to have a rematch either of 2015 or 2004. I was going to say 2004, which technically would be correct. It's just it didn't flow the way I wanted it to. We go to game 2. Not going to make any lineup changes. Of course, we know Wallsted's our guy in goal unless he just starts. We're going to go with pooping the bed. We're going to go with pooping the bed because it sounds better. Although it doesn't. Shitting the bed doesn't. One sounds more. First period of game 2. Owen Tippett gets the opening goal. Gabe, don't call me Glenn, gets a power play goal, but Sean Monahan with a power play goal of his own. We're down 2-1, 16 shots to 10 in our favor, but they have the lead. So we didn't give up a ridiculous amount of shots, but we also didn't see as good of a 20-minute performance from Wallsted there. Second period. Okay. Well, we just talked about pooping the bed. Wallsted pooped the bed in the first period. He shit the bed in the second period. 6-2 Calgary. Kirby Dach started off the scoring. From there, 4 unanswered goals. Kobayashi, Anderson, Pelletier, and Dermott. Okay, we go to the third. I mean, if they score another one, it's certainly over. They have a ton of power play time to start the period. And there it is. Let's just skip the... 7-2 is your final score. Hartman with the only goal of the third period. Pelletier with a 4-point night. Dermott with 3 points. Again, as a defenseman, very impressive. And Connor Hellebuck was back on his game, I would say. All things considered. Jesus. Well, our fourth line did not have a good game. I think that's fair to say. Nor did Jesper Wallsted. And again, the AI logic of not taking out certain players when they're getting shelled, or certain goalies, specifically when they're getting shelled, really needs work. It really does. We're getting ready for game 3. I am hesitant. I'm going to go with hesitant to kind of keep that fourth line together. I don't know. I mean, Jake Y is just, he's not the best defensive player in the world. But Scott Lawton, man. Not going to make any drastic changes yet, but we need a much better performance here. The series shifts to Calgary. Let's see how this goes. Can't go much worse than it did in game 2. First period, better start. Kirby Dach on the power play, the lone goal. 14 shots to 8 as we sim the second period. We still have the lead. Gabe made it 2-1 or 2-0. Monahan able to make it 2-1 off the power play goal. Sean Monahan is scoring all the power play goals right now. 26 shots to 18. We go to the third. Let's see how we do. Early power. We got to score, please. Oh, God, we're going to lose. Oh, you can't waste a 5-on-3, boys. You just can't do it. Power play for Calgary. They waste a power play of their own. Barbashev. Good old Barb. Vinny Trocheck power play goal to get it right back. Okay, back to a 1-goal lead. Under 3 minutes to play. Can we hold on? Yes, we can. A little bit scary, but we got the job done. Not the most convincing win in the world, but a win is a win. 3-2 final. Metropolitan leads the way. We are 2 wins away now from going back to the Stanley Cup final. DeBrincat, Pulock, and Metropolitan really leading the way there. Defensively, we didn't have any minus players. They did most of their damage, 2 out of the 3 goals on the power play, as Wallsted returns to form. Again, a 9-20, pretty darn good, all things considered, as Tampa wins 4-0. They are back in that series. Columbus also won game 2. So right now, we're looking okay. Hagel is healthy down in Rockford, which is relevant because they're still in the playoffs, mind you. They are currently down 2-1, though, to the San Jose Barracuda. Game 4. Hawks and Flames. Not going to make any changes after a win that, kind of backfired after game 1. Hopefully it doesn't backfire here. First period is scoreless. That's a rarity. 13 shots to 12 in their favor. Second period is not scoreless. Goal apiece, Alex DeBrincat and Adrian Kempe. 26 shots to 21. We have that advantage, but the score is tied. Power play for the Flames, another 5-on-3. They take advantage. Wyman with the goal. And Wyman scores again. Another power play for Calgary. Let's just take all the penalties. Third straight power play goal. 4 power play goals to start this third period. Good God. That is horrific. The last one scored on Kochikov because I guess, 7 goals don't pull him. 4 goals pull him. 37 shots to 36, but Calgary wins 5-1 off the back of 4 unanswered power play goals in the third period. I mean, and the fact that it wasn't like they didn't really have big point getters in that game either. It's a best of 3 now. DeBrincat, Strome, and Doc. The only points in that game, of course, plus minus isn't going to be that bad, but our penalty kill is going to be horrific. Wallstead, another rough game. I meant to check the penalties, but does it even matter? Oh, boy. Game 5 is coming up. Tampa ties their series at 2 apiece. Rockford ties their series at 2 apiece. We need to look at certain line combos here and really say what's worth keeping and what isn't. Lawton's done. He was clearly involved in the penalties. He's been rough defensively. Lawton's done. I'm going to give Jake Wise the chance because I don't really know who the hell else to call up here. Okay, he's a terrible fit on the 4th line. So that's not going to happen. So can anybody out of Schlappick or Palmieri play center? Schlappick can absolutely play center, so I can call up whoever I think is going to be the best fit. We know Mackenzie Entwistle can be a decent 4th liner. Zacharias could also be decent, but I think he's better suited to still be in the AHL. Nick Nordgren we've tried before at the NHL level, and it wasn't a great fit. I'm going to go to Mackenzie Entwistle here because I think we can rely on him. Famous last words, of course. For the hell of it, Lawton and Wise, I really don't care. Go down to the AHL, help that team out a bit. But Mackenzie Entwistle is going to get the opportunity here. I'm going to play him probably on the left-hand side. We'll go best lines in the AHL. Again, not too many players that I really have to worry about there. So Entwistle will replace Schlappick. As we'll see how the grinder and two-ways option kind of works for this team or doesn't work. And Schlappick will replace Lawton. It's not a great fit. It's not as good of a fit as I was hoping. That kind of sucks. That kind of sucks. I wonder if I make Schlappick a natural center. Let me make a couple of changes before I consider changing some things up. But it's clear that Scott Lawton, in particular, was having a god-awful series. We had to get him out of there. I don't think that's really debatable. So for Philippe, let's get you to a center spot, and that might just help even out the 4th line. It's probably the main culprit. If not, it's the fact that Entwistle was a grinder rather than a 2-way. And of course, we'll change him over to a natural left winger and hope that that helps out. But obviously, you would have seen with the AHL lineup, in terms of depth, we certainly don't have the same level of team depth that we did when I was in control of the team, which isn't surprising to anybody. That's just how it works with old Mike in control. But, let's see how the lines look here now, despite those deficiencies. 4th line. Okay, we're going to roll with that. Now the question is from here. Virtanen, 9 points. The 7 points for Barbashev, the 8 points for Niebeck. I think I want to keep that line together. DeBrincat, Doc, and Strome. Dylan Strome has just not been what we've needed him to be, and Metropolitan cannot stay out of the box. We can't ignore the fact that Metropolitan cannot stay out of the box, nor can Ned Eakin. The penalties that those two are taking are proving to be extremely detrimental to this team right now. Extremely detrimental. So it kind of raises the question as to whether or not they should be power play specialists. And as crazy as this is, I'm just going to explore this. Metropolitan, Strome, Eakin on the third line. Again, I know it's insane, but bear with me for a second. And then probably still have Barbashev, Nybeck, Virtanen together. And then DeBrincat, Point, and Doc. So again, Kirby right now, 11 points. Only 10 for DeBrincat. I do wonder if we go Nybeck here, you go there. Nybeck, Point, Virtanen, Barbashev, Doc, DeBrincat. Seems absolutely insane. But it could work. It could. And that gives us a good amount of depth up and down the lineup. And I mean, Nybeck and Virtanen have been pretty strong, pretty solid. Defensively, the top pairing's still great. Boqvist, I'm a little bit worried about. Nielsen just has not worked. So let's get Hronek back in here. And I'm going to go with Hronek, Pulock, Crawley, Boqvist. And then goaltending-wise, Wallstead, his numbers are dropping a bit. But Kochkov wasn't exactly great when he got to play. As crazy as that lineup is, I'm willing to give it a try. You can call it self-sabotage if you want. That's not the intention. The intention is for this lineup to be successful. Obviously, we still have a killer power play and a killer penalty kill. But we got to try something else 5-on-5, and I have no choice but to shelter Metropolitan and Eakin because, again, they cannot stay out of the box. Like, obviously, I'm not going to scratch them like I did with Lawton, but they're a pretty big issue. They are, and defensively, I didn't even really look at the point totals or the penalty minute totals. Oh my God, please register the right trigger here. I mean, okay, Brandon Crawley's got to go too. That's, yeah. Yeah. That's too much. That is too much, sir. Sean Walker. Congratulations. You're going to get a big opportunity here. Out of pure desperation. Now, obviously, in terms of penalty minutes, they were up a little bit for Brandt Clark. But I kind of have no choice but to run Brandt Clark on that top pairing. I mean, yeah, that's just like, he's the one player where I'm like, okay, I'm willing to see these penalty minutes be a thing for him. He's the only one, though. He's the only one I'm willing to make an exception for. So we'll go best lines down in Rockford. Their team has completely changed. Let's see what happens here. This is going to be a very intriguing fifth game. Although, just to take a look now at what the ratings are, we still have that 100 offense. The defenses are evened out. And the offenses. Defense. Game 5. Let's roll. If this wants to register, button hits. There we go. Let's do this. Oh, baby, is this going to backfire? I have a feeling it will. First period, scoreless. 15 shots to 7. Damn you, Connor Hellebuck. Second period, not scoreless. Dylan Strome, shorty. Wyman scored on the power play. Barbashev scores. And Zion Nybeck scores on the power play. So, there you go. A shorthanded goal, a power play goal, an even strength goal. We're up 3-1. 33 shots to 18. Heading into the third period. After an explosive second period. Question is, can we hold on? And will we have the chance? Brandt Clark scores. Will we have the chance to close out this series in Game 6 back in Calgary? Both teams waste a man advantage. We do not on that next attempt. Gabe Metropolitan makes it 5. Call the changes crazy. But they worked. You lucked into it. Screw it then. Rather be lucky than good. 5-1 victory, 48 shot efforts. Brant, Clark, 3-point night. Dylan and Clark are ridiculous together. And Jesper Wallstedt was fantastic. What a game. What a performance. Ned Eakin was strong as well. And again, Metropolitan getting the job done. In terms of penalty minutes, Virtanen struggled. He still couldn't keep Metropolitan out of the box. I don't know what the hell happened with Jake Virtanen. That's a bit concerning. But at the end of the day, we survived. Sean Walker gets a win. And I believe his first game as a member of the Blackhawks. I don't think he played any regular season games for us. And we are one win away, as are the Tampa Bay Lightning. From that 2015 rematch, the Rockford IceHogs with a 5-0 victory, back-to-back shutout wins over the Barracuda. They are that close as well to a cup final. So Jake Virtanen, I'm a little bit concerned now about the penalty minutes, bud. I gotta be honest, Budski. A little bit worried. 26 penalty minutes for Metropolitan. Jesus. The problem is here, like, Dylan Strome just cannot put up points. But if I go Barbashev, Metropolitan, Barbashev, Eakin, and Barbashev did well in that last game. But then we get Strome, Doc, DeBrincat, and that's a +5. But again, Strome sucks. At least he does this postseason. But what if we go DeBrincat, Strome, Virtanen? And then we have Doc with Point and Niebeck. And Doc's a better center. I'm going to try that. You just changed it when you won. I know, and I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Game 6. We're going to see if that works. Virtanen, too many penalty minutes for my liking. You get bumped down a little bit. Can we punch our ticket back to the Stanley Cup Final? Let's find out. First period. Ooh, 2 goals from defensemen Uyghur and Dermott. That's not great. They doubled us up in shots. It's 2-0 on the board. Second period. So, Game 7, Wagner makes it 3-0. We have yet to put a puck past Connor Hellebuck, and that power play chance goes to waste. Oh, boy. Okay. All right, Brant Clark scores. We're at least not getting shut out, but too little too late by my estimation. We will be going to a 7th game to find out who goes to the Stanley Cup Final to take on either Tampa or Columbus. Connor Hellebuck, a 32-save effort. And all in all, again, our offense just did not show up. Brant Clark, the only goal. He was also a -2 in that game. And in terms of penalty minute trouble, it was Dylan Strome, who could not stay out of the box with 2 different penalties. The Tampa Bay Lightning will meet the winner of this 7th game. We know that for a fact. The Barracuda are also going to a 7th game. When you get into a Game 7 situation, the bottom line is you have to throw the best lineup at the opposition that you possibly can. How has Sean Walker done since he's been here? He's been fine. Okay. We gotta throw the best combination out there that we can. I don't trust Ronick. I don't trust Neely. I don't trust Crawley. But I am going to give Stephen Johns one hell of an opportunity. I don't know if he was drafted by the Blackhawks, but I know he was on the team at one point, played in Rockford, and then went back to Rockford in this series. He's going to get the chance with Boqvist. Walker will play with Pulock. Offensively, first and foremost, if you're consistently taking penalties, you need to be down the old depth chart here. That's just what it is. If I can't trust you to be on the ice without taking penalties, and I'm not saying that these specific players are going to be on the 4th line, but I want to see who's getting into penalty trouble, and we're going to adjust it from there. So Niebeck, Doc, Point. Okay. I mean, now you can argue, well, yeah, their penalty minutes are higher because they're out there more frequently, and you're not wrong. Although Scott Lawton really put that theory to the test. Oh, boy. How are we going to do this? How is Entwistle done? since we've given him the opportunity. I don't feel like he's done all that well. He's just been kind of there, which is fine. I'll take someone just being kind of there at the moment. So Strome has just the 7 points. Palmieri does have the 8 goals, 8 points there. I mean, as crazy as it is, I'm just trying to think of what the best combination is going to be here. I just wish certain people could stay out of the goddamn box, and that would certainly make setting up this team that much easier. I think we're going to go with that particular fourth line. I don't know who the best centerman is of this bunch. It is Strome. Oh, boy. Or we just go with kind of the typical fourth line that we had before. We're going to put our best players out there, and we're going to sink or swim with them. And if they take 1,000 goddamn penalties and cost us the game, so be it. Metropolitan, Doc, Eakin, DeBrincat, Strome, and Point. That is the game plan. Yeah, it doesn't really matter who's where. We know we can get that +5, but I'll take the 2 +3s. Defensively, we're set up. Sink or swim with our best players. That is the situation as it stands. Let's see what happens. Are we going to another Stanley Cup final, or are we going to, really, in my opinion, choke with the top 6 that we have? Certain players putting up more penalty minutes than they are points. First period. Holy hell. Well, we made the right call. Barbashev, Eakin, and 2 goals for Gabe. 12 shots to 9, a 4-0 lead. God help me if we blow this. Second period, it's now 5-1. Brant Clark made it 5 unanswered goals. Kobayashi gets them on the board. We go to the third period up by 4 goals. And unless we see just an absolutely horrific collapse, Kobayashi with the hat trick. Wyman, and it's tied at 5. Under 7 minutes to play. Lajoie makes it 6 unanswered goals. There are 2 minutes left to play. The Chicago Blackhawks are on the verge of the biggest choke job in playoff history. And I can say that as a Bruins fan because I've seen some choke jobs in the playoffs. A 5-0 lead has turned into a 6-5 Calgary lead with 2:04 to play. Here we go. Let's see how this plays out. Kobayashi's hat trick really sparking the comeback. Sean Walker, the interception. Metropolitan loses the battle to Dermott. Calgary maintaining possession. Kobayashi over the line. Can't get the shot off. Brant was there. Clark dishes it up to Metropolitan. Gabe Metropolitan. Shot! Georgiev with the save. He couldn't pick the corner. Georgiev takes over for Hellebuck, and he's getting it done as we see Wyman and Kobayashi now up there for goal scoring. They're going to put Hellebuck back in, I would presume. This is potentially horrific. Face-off. 1-1 timer blocked by Kobayashi. Calgary clears. Turnover. Mikko Rantanen, a bit of space to work with. Can't pick the corner. Dylan finds Eakin. Now Metropolitan again. Dylan Strome. Metropolitan saved by Hellebuck. 1:21 to play. The Calgary Flames potentially pulling off the most ridiculous comeback I've ever seen. Strome can't win the draw. Lajoie nearly tripped. Calgary gets it out. Wyman drops it back. The Flames moving the puck around well. Pelletier nearly turns it over and ultimately does. Braden Point over the line. Looking for space. Dishes it in front. Nobody home. Final minute to play. Have the Flames pulled this off? They have it in the offensive zone. In front. Wyman can't pull the trigger on the shot. Wallstead was there. We are obviously going to call a timeout here. Oh my God. Did this just happen? Here we go. Huge face-off for Kirby Dach. One of the biggest of his career. The Hawks come up with it. Eakin has a bit of trouble, finds Clark. Clark turns it over. Hartman was there. Hartman in front, now back to the point. Calgary cycling it. Looking around, Pelletier to Hartman. Big glove save by Wallstead. Oh my God. Hartman, 88 overall, point blank chance, but he couldn't beat Wallstead. Kirby on the draw. Eakin fights for it, can't come up with it. Lajoie misses wide. Dillon back for Clark, 35 seconds to go. Eakin from Metropolit, pulling the goalie. Bit of trouble here. Dillon able to recover. Extra attacker up for the Hawks. Kirby Dach can't get it into the zone. Clark keeps it away from the Calgary offense. Chance here. Dach turns it over. Trouble. Weegar loses it to Dach. Dach in front. Eakin can't bury it on the open goal. Ned Eakin couldn't bury it. Kobayashi misses. 5 to go. The Calgary Flames have eliminated the Chicago Blackhawks. Oh my God. Oh my God. What just happened? The Calgary Flames down 5-1 in this game, score 5 unanswered goals to win it in regulation. They will move on. It will be a rematch of the 2004 Stanley Cup Final. And needless to say, there are questions. So many questions.